Alright, we back. It's your boy Clips the General, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we got a little different type of reaction today. So, I just seen a video that was posted up by Rory Mal. You know, everybody know Rory Mal. They're interviewing Mr. Mecc, and he's talking about, I guess, the breakup of My Expert Opinion. I didn't even know that all of that was going on. Mind you, I haven't watched the video yet. I watched a different video that was kind of somebody talking about why they think that the podcast could be breaking up. But I guess, you know what I'm saying, we're going to hear it from Mecc himself, because I know he was on the show. So, I mean, I'm sure he will have a better insight of what's going on. So, excuse me. We're going to watch that, and we're going to talk about it. But hold up. Before we get into all of that, listen, dog, I'm trying to be cordial here. I know, you know, the last time I might have been a little aggressive. I probably was, you know what I'm saying, I did a little bit too much. Subscribe for me, son. Subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good shit. Hit the post notification. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask nicely. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask nicely. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and do that for me. You heard? But let's get into it.
What is going on with My Expert Opinion?
I do not know.
The barbershop. I have been, just because, you know, love the show, fuck with math. I've just been paying attention to what's going on. Mm-hmm. We're not here to judge. We understand how fucking crazy it is to try to keep a podcast business going. But where does this leave the show?
In the hands of the owner.
Okay.
In the hands of the owner. I don't have a lot of information as far as like where it's going to go. I found out a lot of things in real time with everybody else. I knew the lights were off.
Okay.
We went to do an episode. I'm the one who called him and told him the lights were off. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's jacked up. I told him to fight for the shop. Not because the aesthetic is so needed, but because I felt the way it was done was dirty. I don't think you should let people get away with the bullshit. So you should fight for the shop. But you know, the spot isn't the show. The voices of the show. The energy is the show. You guys, you too could pick up, go someplace else and still be Rory Mal. You dig what I'm saying? Like when you left, when it was Joe Budden and then next thing it's Rory Mal, you're still Rory Mal. My expert opinion will be my expert opinion no matter where it is.
Agreed.
It's not, I don't like the fact that all the business is on Front Street, but that wasn't my call either.
Okay, wait. So so what it sounded like is they're not breaking up. It's just they having some issues with the building and all of that, and that's what's putting everything on hold. Okay. That ain't really nothing. People making it seem like niggas is beefing and motherfucker. At least that's what the gist I got from it. But I'm gonna keep going and see where this go. But if it's just them, you know what I'm saying, losing the barbershop, that's not really a big deal. Just my opinion, because like you said, you can go anywhere and a good episode is a good episode no matter where the fuck you recorded at. Like, that don't really matter. Like right now I'm doing these right here in, you know what I'm saying, my spare room space. But if I wanted to pick my camera up and go the fuck outside, it's still the same shit. So yeah, it does. If that's all it is, then it's kind of irrelevant. So
we'll see what happens. Like we'll see what shakes out. People are hitting me up for answers that I'm kind of watching with everybody else. Like, you know, Mecc, you see what's going on? Yeah, I'm looking right now. Man, it's crazy. You got some popcorn? Like, it's nuts. You see this shit? I was like, wow, fuck. Did you see that?
So you and Math haven't had any personal conversations at all about it?
We spoke. We spoke months ago, and we knew that the landlord was like being a little
he's moving funny,
shaky.
Yeah.
You see him walking by, looking in, like when we're filming an episode, but dozens of people walk by and look in. You see a barbershop with a bunch of bright lights, you know what I mean, and microphones. Of course, you stop and what the fuck is that? So I didn't pay attention to I didn't even know what he looked like. And I stayed out of the business part of it. Like if I'm not involved, if I'm not directly involved, if I can't help in any way, shape, or form, I'm not injecting myself into anybody's situation, especially when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are your pockets. You spend your money. You do what you do. I don't want to know how much you're making. I don't want to know. I'm from Queens. All I care about is my bread. I don't want any of yours. I need all of mine. That's the philosophy. And I'm not here to pocket check or pocket watch you under any circumstances. So as far as like the being, he did tell us when, you know, homeboy was trying to, after the light thing, like, homeboy's trying to kick us out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, he needs barbers and he's saying there's nobody. He told us all the same stuff that he said online. So yeah, we had that conversation, but.
Wait, the landlord said he needs barbers in the shop?
Well, I'm not saying anything that's not already.
Yeah, of course.
There's something in the contract that says you have to have barbers in the chair, or there's like a subsection where it says you can use it for other purposes, right? But the main thing is the barbers. And I can understand that if I'm a landlord and I own a spot and I walk by, you know, 3 or 4 days out of the week and the shutters are down and the lights are off and this is my place, I want to see it active and moving. You don't want your building looking like it's abandoned, basically.
I mean, if the agreement though is
I don't give a shit about that. If I'm a landlord, I give a fuck about the rent being paid. What you do with the space, I don't give a fuck. Well, I ain't gonna say I don't give a fuck, but if that's what you decide to do with the space, you're running a show out of it. You're using it to record a show, and y'all don't record every day. You know what I'm saying? You use it for a specific time, and as long as you fucking got my rent on the first of the month, the fuck do I care? As long as y'all ain't doing no bullshit in the spot, you know what I'm saying? That's petty shit.
I owe you this, what I do with it is kind of none of your fucking business.
Unless there's a suspicion that you're doing something illegal.
Okay, which obviously that was not happening.
What?
In that.
If we selling drugs on camera, like, bro,
you might have just did something with that. We ain't think about that one.
What you think RFK was there for?
Wow. Okay. Well,
that was where the suspicion started. What is RFK doing here?
It's been sold on camera.
Some shady shit right now.
Drugs have been sold on camera before.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Not when I'm around.
Right.
Not when I'm around. So, you know, some shit makes sense. Some shit just doesn't. I didn't communicate with him because I wasn't asked to, and it's not, for lack of a better term, it's not my place.
Okay, but is that something you at least check in with him on, of like the status of like what's happening? Or you have so many resources, I couldn't see why Math would hit you to be like, yo, this is what's going on. Is there something you can help out with?
That never happened.
Okay. I just feel like somebody like you would be the first call with the resources that you have and could provide to keep that moving.
But that never happened.
Okay.
Like we are where if that was the case, I don't think we, you know, if he'd asked and I could figure it out.
Yeah.
Of course I would. When have you ever asked me for something and I said, nah, go fuck yourself?
Never.
Or like didn't even answer the phone for you?
Never.
Like if I'm not answering the phone, excuse me, if I'm not answering the phone, I'm busy as fuck. I am like working on albums with like an icon. So like my days are jumbled up, and if we're not filming the show, then I have things that I definitely need to put my attention to. But juggling wasn't a problem, and anybody calling me for anything, it's nothing to be like, oh, okay, I got you. But like, you know, if I don't have it, if I can't help you, I'm not going to pretend I can.
Do you think there's a window with this shit? Because I mean, the podcast world is so unpredictable with fans, algorithms, everything. With the steam that y'all had, you know, being one of the top shows, is the window small to come back?
Hell no. And before he even answered, I don't think so. Because My expert opinion is a pretty good show. It's a pretty good show. Judging from Nigel, it's not something I don't watch it on a regular, but I check out, you know what I'm saying, episodes here and there whenever I see something that may pique my interest. But from all the shows that I've watched, it's a good show. And there's people that watch it religiously every time they upload. I don't believe it. Granted, I'm not gonna say there's not a window, but the window isn't as small as people think. At least that's just how I feel. I feel like whenever they upload again, whenever they get back to uploading again, it'll be right back to business. That's just what I think.
Just the way shit operates and how quick everyone moves. How quick do you think you guys need to come back?
It's not risk-free, right? I'll give you that. I'll say that. It's not, because they also say absence makes the heart grow fonder. And we were obviously providing something that, was different from our peers. We don't do what Rory and Mal do. We don't do what Joe Budden does. We don't do what Drink Champs does. Not in the same way. We're all doing something different. Your voices are unique. Again, wherever Rory and Mal go, it's Rory and Mal. You can't duplicate the voices, right? Wherever my expert opinion goes, it's my expert opinion. You can't duplicate the voices. You can't duplicate the energy. So if people miss that, then there's always going to be a window for something that somebody misses. You know what I'm saying? But
that's a fact.
Maybe the main eyes are like, maybe I heard that.
Oh, sorry, no.
It kind of goes back to the casual fan combo.
I totally heard that.
We were having. Like, there's podcasts that I'll watch all the time, and if I start clicking other shit and somehow they get out of my algorithm, it's not at the top of my mind.
Sure.
Because it doesn't pop up. I just think that's how we're kind of trained with everything now. I've fallen off with podcasts, not because I dislike them. It's because with all the busy shit I'm doing during the day, sometimes my algorithms is what's going to be the thing that I click that day.
For sure.
So, that's where I think not a window would be small, because you guys have already built a core fan base that's always going to be there.
Facts.
Like, how much
there's
I love
a million subscribers on that shit.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Like, so
you guys were the only podcast that, I don't want to say late to the party because it sounds like disrespectful, but it's not. When the podcast boom hit, everyone tried to do a podcast and they all failed. You guys were the only ones that came in after like the core and passed us. Like,
I see what you mean.
Yeah, the only one, and to me that was like the most unique shit ever. When Matt launched it, I was like, oh, this is a really good conversation. But this is when everyone has a fucking podcast because they saw what the rest of us were doing. Y'all were the only ones post boom that actually stayed. So I do think, of course, no matter what, the window is open.
Yeah, but there's magic.
Because we've been through it, so there's no judgments on this side. We can have a little therapy session. What have these ups and downs been like with people leaving the show, messiness, new podcasts? Every single day they're talking more about what's going on with the cast rather than the actual show.
All right. I'm gonna stop this right here because I thought, from judging off the video I saw prior to this, they made it seem like niggas was breaking up, niggas is going their separate ways and all this goofy shit. But they just lost the barbershop. That's it. They just lost the barbershop. I don't think that's not something drastic. Like, yeah, you've been in that spot for a couple years probably, and people are used to seeing that aesthetic. But you can go somewhere else and create that same fucking aesthetic. You don't have to be in that spot. And it's like you said, no matter where they go, the show is the show. It doesn't matter where the show is filmed. That's irrelevant. And this is why I'm glad I came to this video to really get the, you know what I'm saying, to see what was really going on. Because, like I said, I saw a video prior to this, and it made it seem like shit's over, they breaking up, and all of this other shit. But they just lost the building. They just lost they just lost the barbershop. That's light. That's light. They can bounce back from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he wanted to fucking record the shit in his living room, it don't matter. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's just a change in location, man. That's all it is. And I guarantee you he gonna bounce back from this shit. He gonna find another spot. And it's gonna be right back to business. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just got to be smart and strategic about it. If he does want to do a barbershop thing, like keep that theme going, and he does decide to get another barbershop space, me personally, I would just be upfront with the person. Like, listen, ain't gonna be no barbers in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I run a, you know what I'm saying, a successful podcast or whatever, and the aesthetic for my podcast is a barbershop. It's like, you know what I'm saying, bunch of fellas sitting around having barbershop talk, and the aesthetic is a barbershop. So that's what I'm gonna be using it for. I can pay the rent every month and all of that, but yeah, this is what I'm using this shit for. And that's gonna be that. Cause honestly, if you wanted to have it like a barbershop during the day, podcast at night type shit, I believe that's gonna be hectic, because then it's gonna be hair all over the fucking place. And cause listen, I went to barber school. I've worked in a barbershop before. No matter how much you sweep and how much you clean, it's gonna be fucking hair. It's everywhere, son. The shit is everywhere. You feel what I'm saying? So then you gotta pay cleaners to clean, and yeah, so it can get shaky. But like I said, if you wanted to keep the barbershop thing going, if you wanted to rent another barbershop, just tell the landlord, nigga, listen, it ain't gonna be no barbershop. This is what I'm doing. That's simple. But before y'all go, man, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good shit. I'm cranking these bitches out every day. I'm trying my best to keep this shit going. I'm gonna try to do a solid year, 365 days, upload a video a day for a whole year. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go back and see the day that I started this, and I'm gonna try to keep it going. But I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.